time for less raging. Because we will learn about the drink called Yoohoo. Have you guys had Yoohoo before? Yoohoo. What does it even say? Oh, wait, there's a website. Ooh. There is a website. Look at it. Oh, you can't really. I'm like sort of in the way. Look. Yoohoo, the delicious taste loved for generations. It is a chocolate drink. This is one of Jello's favorite drinks. What? They have different flavors? I didn't know. I didn't know they have strawberry, vanilla, and cookies and cream. That doesn't surprise me. Oh. In the 1920s, struck by sweetness, back in the 1920s, a small grocery store owner named Natal Olivieri invented Yoohoo as a chocolatey addition to the fruit juices he sold in New Jersey. Okay. Thanks to a special bottling process, Yoohoo will always stay fresh if its container stays sealed. Ingredients may separate, but any Yoohoo fan knows to just shake the bottle. Preferred Nesquik for the chocolate. I always had Nesquik. Well, we didn't even have... I never even knew Yoohoo existed until Jello came here, and then he was sad that he couldn't find it anymore. Shelf-stable chocolate drink. 1950s, a big home run. In the 50s and 60s, Yoohoo partnered with baseball legends. Okay, and then in the 1980s, a dynamic duo, Strawberry Yoohoo, burst onto the scene. 2000s, crazy concoctions. Did you know there were Yoohoo ice pops and candy? I had no idea. I tried Yoohoo. It tastes like chocolate water. That's what it tasted like to me when I tried it. I don't know, but Jello loves it. He loves it. So, I'm curious to know what it's made of, because yeah. I'm expecting it to be like it's just chocolate water, but we'll see.
Some things you never outgrow. Chicken nuggets, naps, and the magic of Yoohoo. Maybe it's the iconic yellow label. Maybe it's the fun-to-say name. Or maybe it's because Yoohoo exists in a category of its own. Part drink, part nostalgia. Part, what the heck is this, actually? Because here's the thing. Yoohoo is not chocolate milk. It is a chocolate drink.
Exactly.
But who made this mysterious chocolate potion? And why does it taste so good, despite looking kind of like brown water? Well, today...
Oh my god, he said water, didn't he? He said it tastes like water. See? But like, granted, me saying it tastes like chocolate water doesn't mean it tastes bad. It does taste good.
Today, we're blowing the cap off the bottle, shaking things up, and going deep into the sticky, shelf-stable story of Yoohoo, the chocolate drink that refused to be refrigerated.
What?
But before we crack the seal on this story, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Then let us know in the comments below what other beverages you want to hear about. All right, now, ready for the power of voodoo? Hoodoo? Yoohoo. New Jersey in the 1920s was a time of soda jerks, boardwalks, and wildly ambitious beverage makers. Enter Natale Olivieri, a man who looked at fruit juice and thought, what if this was chocolate? Olivieri already owned a successful fruit drink business called True Fruit, but he had a...
For some reason, I was thinking Natalie. I thought it was the woman.
Dream to make a chocolate beverage that didn't spoil. At the time, chocolate milk existed, but it had a fatal flaw. It needed a refrigerator. And in the 1920s, not everyone had one. Inspired by his wife's tomato canning skills, Olivieri watched her sterilize jars by boiling them before sealing, and a light bulb went off. If it weren't for marinara, Why not chocolate?
Right.
After a few tries, he figured it out. Gently shake the bottle while it boils, kill the bacteria, seal the sucker up, and boom, shelf-stable chocolate drink. No milk, no spoilage. He decided not to call it True Fruit Chocolate because even Olivier knew that was a marketing crime. He needed something catchy, something peppy, so he landed on Yoohoo, a phrase that meant at the time exactly what it means today. Hello, but in a fun, cheeky way. Exactly the kind of vibe Olivier wanted for his drink. And so, in 1928, Yoohoo was born in
Yoohoo! Hello, what are you doing? Garfield? Bird's eye view of
Garfield, New Jersey.
Chocolate-flavored dream.
Yoohoo first appeared in small New Jersey markets, sold in glass bottles to locals. It was sweet, shelf-stable, and vaguely chocolatey. People loved it, from kids to kids at heart. And just like that, Olivier's chocolate drink was a local legend. By the 1940s, Yoohoo had outgrown its humble Jersey roots. Sales were up, kids were hooked, and local bottling just wasn't cutting it anymore. That's
now I
when
know
fellow
what it tastes
beverage
like
visionary Thomas Girassi stepped in and opened a bottling plant in Batesburg, South Carolina. Not just any bottling plant, a 50,000 square foot chocolate dream factory, capable of pumping out 250 bottles per minute, like the Willy Wonka of the American South.
What? 250 bottles per minute? Holy shit. Wow, that's a lot.
Still be named Willy Wonka. By 1950, Yoohoo had moved its HQ into a converted warehouse in Tarrytown, New York. The company was expanding fast, adding an aluminum can production facility in Carlstadt, New Jersey, and a Pennsylvania plant for plastic bottles. The East Coast was now chocolate drink country.
The Yogi effect.
Even with 3 plants and a cult following, Yoohoo still needed its big break. Enter Yogi Berra, the 3-time MVP New York Yankees catcher and accidental philosopher who gave us classic quotes like, "It ain't over till it's over," and "You could observe a lot just by watching." And incidentally,
oh yeah, this was the baseball era that we read about. You can use channel points with your model on Kick. I didn't even think to check that yet. Shit. Okay, yeah. I'll need to go into VTube Studio and check. Because I have it set up, obviously, with Twitch at the moment.
The inspiration for Yogi Bear's name. In the 1960s, Yoohoo launched a full-scale ad campaign featuring Berra and his pinstriped teammates, like Mickey Mantle and Whitey Ford. In one iconic spot, Berra lifts a glass bottle of Yoohoo and says, "It's me-hoo for Yoohoo. It's weird, it's wonderful, and it worked." Sales among adults in the Northeast jumped 40% after Berra's ads hit the airwaves. The campaign took Yoohoo from a kid's lunchbox treat to a legit adult beverage. And Yogi Berra didn't just endorse Yoohoo, he invested in it, becoming a vice president of the company. The man who once said, "Baseball is 90% mental and the other half is physical," was helping run a chocolate drink empire. And the branding didn't stop there. The 1970s and 80s brought a rotating cast of slogans like the chocolate action drink and the drink of champion. They leaned hard into the idea that Yoohoo wasn't just a sweet treat, it was a fuel for legends. Possibly even a drink for the Pope, but we'll get to that in a bit.
You get fueled by the sugar.
Yoohoo was no longer just New Jersey's weird little secret. It was a nationwide staple. However, nobody even really knew what it was. Was it milk, chocolate water, a government experiment gone wrong?
The chocolate water!
It was delicious, but that deliciousness came with questions, and eventually, lawsuits. Because at some point, someone asked the forbidden question.
Oh,
wait,
no.
what the heck is actually in this? Well, let's start with what it isn't. Yoohoo is not chocolate milk. On every bottle, in bold, unapologetic type, Yoohoo proudly announces chocolate drink, which
chocolate drink, not chocolate milk. When I first tasted it, I did expect it to taste like chocolate milk, so I was really surprised when it did not taste that way. I am not sure if links work in the Kick chat. You can try to send a link if you want. Or just the name of the program. Or I'm sure if I Google how to connect channel points, I'll probably find it.
Sounds more like a surprise waiver than a tasty treat.
It's simply a substitute.
Current formula looks a little something
for those with lactose intolerance. Maybe that's why Jello likes it so much. He's like, I can't have chocolate milk because lactose intolerance, but I can have Yoohoo.
Something like this: water, high fructose corn syrup, whey, non-fat dry milk, cocoa, sodium caseinate, which is a milk protein, artificial flavors and stabilizers, and finally, emulsifiers and preservatives so it can survive in your pantry, glove box, or
So
possibly
it is basically
That's
chocolate
right.
water.
Yoo-hoo contains no liquid milk, not even a whisper. Just powdered milk, whey, and enough science to make your 9th grade chemistry teacher proud. With no
Nice.
milk and tons of stabilizing agents, Yoo-hoo doesn't separate or curdle. Of course, all that shelf-stable perfection comes with some scrutiny. In 2010, a man named Timothy Dahl sued the makers of Yoo-hoo, claiming that the drink was
false
portrayed as
advertising.
healthy and nutritious, which is deceptive and misleading for kids and adults. Well, let's look at the facts. Yoo-hoo labels
Everyone labels their stuff as healthy, even though it's not. What?
at the time did say things like rich in vitamins, good source of minerals, and no preservatives. Of course, we know that last claim is a flat-out lie. The whole point of Yoo-hoo is shelf
Chocolate
stability.
energy
but it
drink?
turned out those other two things weren't true either. The company responded with a corporate version of a shrug emoji, insisting that Yoo-hoo was a fun treat and perfectly safe. No final resolution was ever publicized.
The conclave.
Let's
what?
be honest, Yoo-hoo does not scream celebrity beverage. It's not Gwyneth Paltrow's green juice. It's not a tequila
Oh, that
brand
looked
launched by
nasty.
Hemsworth. Yoo-hoo is the drink you grab when your inner child says, "We're having fun today." And yet, some of the biggest names in history have been linked to Yoo-hoo, including the Pope. Yes, the actual Pope. In 1993, Pope John Paul II visited the U.S. for World Youth Day in Denver. And on the papal plane, reporters overheard a Vatican spokesperson saying they'd been asked to bring a couple of cases of that American chocolate drink he likes back to the Vatican. Cue international headlines reading, "The Pope loves Yoo-hoo." The Vatican quickly
Please get me some of the chocolate drink. We need to bring it back. Please.
backpedaled, issuing a statement that the Pope had no specific brand preference for chocolate beverages. But come on, what other chocolate drink is there?
Fallen flavor.
For every
Vanilla.
chocolate Yoo-hoo that made it into a lunchbox,
Vanilla
there were
doesn't
at least
sound like,
6 other
"Ooh,
flavors that
chocolate."
didn't quite make the cut, and some of them
What? Chocolate banana. I don't know. Would that be good? I don't know. But the chocolate strawberry sounds like it would be good. What the hell? Chocolate coconut and meh. Meh. Actually, then again. Bounty bars are pretty good. Maybe.
deserved better, so let's pay tribute. Chocolate strawberry, the Neapolitan middle child.
Yummy!
Tasted like a melted milkshake left in a car, but in
Oh.
a nostalgic way. Chocolate banana, imagine a smoothie that
No.
lied to you. Fruity up front, hauntingly
no,
weird on the back
no,
end.
I can't see
Vanilla,
it.
tasted like the melted
No.
ice cream at the bottom of a birthday party bowl.
Yeah,
In other
no.
words, iconic. Cookies
Ew.
and cream. We wanted to believe, but it was giving more vague sugar water than dunked Oreo. Island coconut. Oh, who approved this?
Oof.
Coconut and chocolate can work, just not when they meet in a shelf-stable can like strangers on a train. Double fudge. A bold move. You already had a chocolate drink, so
What?
this was like adding a leather jacket to a leather jacket. They should bring this one back, though. By the late 1990s,
Nothing
Yoo-hoo
beats
was
the
ready for a
chocolates.
glow-up, so they rebranded to try and target an older demographic. Yoo-hoo ran ads in Spin magazine. They launched merchandise you could get by mailing in UPC codes, but they were items that would appeal to teenagers: bandanas, boxer shorts, and Swatch-style watches. They created a crew of animated characters called the Yoo-hoo Crew, slacker teens who represented the brand's ideal demographic: loud, under-supervised, and always down for chocolate drink. And then they sponsored the Vans Warped Tour. The same Yoo-hoo that once graced Yankee Stadium was now hanging out with pop-punk bands and guys named Skater Mike. They even held a contest called the World's Laziest Roadie, where winners got chauffeured to the Warped Tour with an unlimited supply of Yoo-hoo,
Wow.
because nothing prepares you for a mosh pit like a bellyful of lab-grown chocolate drink. In a wild twist of brand synergy, Yoo-hoo existed in the same corporate portfolio as Pernod Absinthe in the 90s. Yep, the French liquor famous for hallucinations that it doesn't actually cause, once shared a business card with your lunchbox chocolate drink, which leads us to the Absinthe Crag cocktail, for when you want to keep drinking Yoo-hoo
What?
into your 20s and beyond.
Wait, maybe that would actually be good. Imagine if it was fizzy, carbonated chocolate water. Oh, no. No, that sounds nasty.
And honestly, who doesn't? Created by cocktail author John DeBerry, this fever dream combines 4.5 ounces of Yoohoo with 1.5 ounces of absinthe. Shake with ice, strain into a coupe glass, and sip carefully while racing through a kaleidoscope of nostalgia. The
how that would
concoction is
taste.
surprisingly good by all
Yeah, it looks
accounts.
good.
Licorice from the absinthe and chocolate from the Yoohoo combine like your inner child got into the medicine cabinet. This drink was named the Absinthe Crag after the Aggro Crag challenge from the kids' game show Nickelodeon Guts. Because if you're going to make a cocktail out of childhood and chaos, you might as well commit to the bit.
The modern you.
Yoohoo has passed through many corporate hands over the years, including Cadbury, which makes sense, and BBC
Yum.
Industries, which is more of a surprise.
Cadbury is my favorite chocolate. I wonder if I can find a Cadbury history video. Hell yeah.
Today, Yoohoo lives under the massive beverage umbrella of Keurig Dr. Pepper, alongside Snapple and Canada Dry, and of course Dr. Pepper, another beverage famous for its uniqueness. Yoohoo is a branding mystery that defies nutritional science, but it has managed to remain popular for nearly a century. So crack one open, take a sip, and maybe say Yoohoo to the Absinthe Crag. That's what Yogi would do. So what do you think? Are you jonesing for a Yoohoo? Or is it chocolate water under the bridge? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other weird history food videos.
Now I want a Yoohoo. But it's too hot to go get one. Way too hot. I've never even seen the other flavors. All I have ever seen is just the chocolate flavor. I wonder what the other ones tasted like. Strawberry and whatever. I mean, he gave the best, most accurate description he could, which sounded nasty, but you know. Doesn't Jello want a Yoohoo? Trick him into going up. Jello, you came from Memphis. You can get us a Yoohoo. You should be used to this kind of heat. Yes.